Secrets hidden in plain sight. Powers that move the world in the shadows. Questions no one dares to answer. Step beyond the matrix. Subscribe.
The answer is, if there are oversight hearings, I absolutely will cooperate fully and testify before the Congress if asked. So I have no trouble testifying. We can defend and explain and stand by everything that we've said. Under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions.
Do you know there are thousands, tens of thousands of families who said, my aunt, my father, my cousin, my brother, my husband, or my wife took this shot and they're gone. See, you're going to sit here and you're going to keep playing with the people. You're going to keep getting on this tell live vision every damn day, making it seem as though there's nothing negative about these shots, making it seem as though these tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of families are just crazy until it blows up. It's not important or valuable until it's your life. It's not until it hits you. It's personal. Then you want to address it. But when it's my family, oh well, it's just 1,000, just 5,000. But wait a minute, how many does it need to be in order for my family's life to matter? Damn. See, this is a sick way of thinking. 7,000 died for COVID shots supposedly, 9/11, never forget. 9/11, never forget the 3,000. Oh, 7,000 of the shots? Oh, don't worry. It's just circumstantial. You tell people not to forget that, but you keep telling them to forget the person who is dying every single day. This person died, this person died, this person. Talk to the nurses, bro, who are on the COVID floor, who watch the fact that they injected somebody with something and they go on the next week. And they see it over and over. I keep injecting people with this and they keep dying. Hold on, there's something to this. There's something to this here. And now you want to oust them. Over 9,000 medical professionals in California are currently under disciplinary action because they are refusing to inject people with COVID shots. So now they are being told you cannot give out no exemption forms. And if you even attempt to give out exemption forms, we will remove you from the practice. Over 9,000 people on the list in California alone. And there are multiple medical professionals all across this country. Over 10,000 medical professionals and over 1,000 lawyers are currently suing the CDC and the World Health Organization for crimes against humanity.
Okay, y'all got to pull up on Brother RZA today.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All you scared to death Negroes. Just sit down.
This is not over. They are not done. They are coming for you and your children very soon. The reason I'm here is that the global governance, the authoritarian EU expanding to WEF, WHO, UN, they believe they need to control your bodies, and vaccines is how they're going to control you. They're going to decide if you can have children or not. This isn't a conspiracy theory. Bill Gates says we must reduce population. Barack Obama, Klaus Schwab, Tedros all say we need to reduce population. And at the same time, they say every nation must mandate vaccines. Take them for their word. And ask yourself, are you just going to let this happen? I made this movie as a tool to explain to everybody what vaccines really are and how they work. Because if everybody knows the truth and everybody shares that truth, we are powerful enough to change the world. This is not over. They are not done. They are coming for you and your children very soon. I'm here to tell you exactly what the head of WHO, Tedros, is telling you. It's not a matter of if there's another pandemic, it's when. The next time they will be playing to win. Take this film, share it with everyone you know. If we do nothing, we will all be imprisoned by facial recognition software, artificial intelligence, forced vaccinations, tracking systems. All of it is 3 to 5 years away. I can't guarantee we win.
Je peux pas vous garantir qu'on va gagner.
But I know for sure if we do nothing, we lose.
Let's watch this together.
Because this is the very first time that a United States State Funeral Director Association president or former president has come out to talk about these unusual white fibrous clots that embalmers with 20 or 30 years of experience have never seen in their corpses before until the years of COVID and the COVID vaccines. In my latest worldwide survey, it was about 1 out of every 5 corpses had this phenomenon in them. What are you seeing, Chris?
Tom, I would say it's a little bit higher than that. I've been seeing it in probably 30 to 40% of each and every body that I embalm.
Nope, nothing to see here. Just people's blood turning into coagulated slime. At this point, we have all been exposed to the jab and to the spike protein. As we speak, they are still throwing down experimental aerosolized vaccinations for everybody, just to be sure everybody is safe and protected. So, something interesting. Yale University School of Medicine decided to conduct a study that showed that the mRNA jab alters human biology to create long-term spike protein production that increases over time. And what does spike protein do exactly? If you look at the protein itself, the little spikes at the end, those are called S1 segments. And what they do is they actually stick themselves inside of your white blood cells. So this is why there's an explosion of autoimmune symptoms or diseases. Because again, you're putting something foreign right into the bloodstream. Mind you, again, experimental. So which equals criminal? Which equals criminal? So let's talk about how we're taking care of this. You have to be on a protocol that breaks the spike protein down. And in specific, if you are jabbed, something to break down and dissolve the spike protein, and something to clean the blood, keep the blood flowing and not clotting. This is called ultimate spike protein, 4 times the amount of nattokinase. All right, so nattokinase breaks down something that is called fibrin. This is the protein that pretty much forms the dangerous clots in your blood. It also boosts your body's clot dissolving system. So not only does this contain nattokinase, it also contains bromelain, turmeric, which we know is amazing for bringing down inflammation in the body. Where does inflammation come from? Your body's sending off an immune response because there are things in your bloodstream that do not belong there. So your body's sending off immune responses. This is by the Wellness Company. This is the most potent supplement that you will find on the market right now for any sort of spike protein detox. And again, we've all been exposed to the protein at this point. And we've all been exposed to the jab. These proteins are dangerous. They attack the immune system. These jabs also contain T-cell immunophenotypes, which triggers something called VAIDS, Vaccine-Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. Sounds kind of like something else. Yeah, that's because it is.
This shit is crazy. How many people got the jab in their arm? How many? Now Dr. Fauci is pleading the fifth to everything. I mean, if you're a real doctor, why you want to plead the fifth? Just tell people what was inside of these. Tell people the side effects. But nah. This man want to take the stand and say, I respectfully plead the Fifth Amendment. Really? Anytime someone say I plead the fifth, they are saying, I'm guilty. I remember when this corona stuff first started. It was mind-blowing. I mean, they was giving out free hamburgers, free french fries, so people can get the shot. And guess what happened? People got the shot. And after people got the shot, it was never the same. It's 6 years later. People still not the same. And this man want to plead the fifth. We should already know that the word corona means crown. But whose crown? We know the sun have a crown. We know in spirituality, we have a crown chakra. And when we die, we have a crown. Like, you know, a halo over our heads. These people overstood that we was going to have a spiritual awakening in 2020. So they stopped it. I mean, they really stopped it. When you have a spiritual awakening, your crown chakra is activated with the real crown, the sun. So they put some weird shit in our body, like nanobots and all kind of heavy metals to slow us down. Or I should say, change us into something else. This is connected to the Roman numerals. The number 20 is XX because they double crossed us in 2020. They lied to us, or I should say they was testing our 2020 vision. In 2020, a lot of people couldn't see what was taking place. So you are a doctor, you take the stand, but you don't want to tell people the origins of Hey, I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. What took place was just a test run. They was testing out the dummies. I'm not saying people who took the jab are dummies. They just didn't know no better. When you look at these numbers like this, and then you see this man say, I plead the fifth, just check out how this whole shit work. They was giving away free fast food, which is unhealthy, so you can get a healthy jab shot. What the fuck is that? They ain't say, here goes some fruits and vegetables or some herbs. No. This was nothing but a test, and so many people failed.
I feel like life imitates art partly because of predictive programming. Like, I feel like when they put things inside of movies that, you know, maybe seem a little science fiction or something that hasn't happened yet, and then that thing ends up happening, I think the reason why life imitates art in that sense is because when they put whatever it is into the movie that is the predictive programming, enough people start to believe that whatever it is in the art can actually become a reality. And so since people are actually believing, well, like, yeah, this can actually happen, this can be a real thing that they're seeing within the art, then that art actually manifests into reality. So it's almost as if, like, they're putting it in the movie so that we can actually manifest whatever they're trying to, you know, put out there, basically. But it's like not really that life is imitating art necessarily in every sense. It's basically like they're putting things out so that we can believe certain things, so that we can manifest whatever is in the art into reality. Like, but I really think it is like them basically predictive programming things for us to believe them. And then once it's like generally believed, that idea can manifest into reality. And then we say, oh, well, life is imitating art, but realistically, it was purposely put there for that art to become something in this reality. Like, think sci-fi and like advanced technologies and things like that. Like, I feel like it's put out there so we can think that it could be real, and then it manifests into reality in these new technologies. But it's like it was predictive programming. You know what I mean?
He offered cures for incurable diseases. He offered hope and life to those about to die. But today, a Brooklyn man who masqueraded as a doctor has been arrested by the state attorney general. Alec Roberts has the story.
Can you cure AIDS? I have cured AIDS many times, sir, and I can cure AIDS again and again.
The man who calls himself Dr. Sebi has treated hundreds, if not thousands, of patients for diseases ranging from AIDS to baldness. His ads appear in current issues of the Amsterdam News and the Village Voice, claiming to cure the incurable: AIDS, herpes, sickle cell anemia. Dr. Sebi's real name is Alfredo Bowman. He is not a doctor and does not have a license. He is a biochemist who uses herbal potions manufactured by a company he owns in Puerto Rico. He calls it natural therapies, the African biomineral balance. Today, 2 investigators from the State Attorney General's office paid a house call to Dr. Sebi's storefront office on Pacific Street. Their prescription, an arrest warrant for practicing medicine without a license and selling drugs which have not been tested and approved by the Food and Drug Administration. Lainey Ackles, a spokeswoman for Attorney General Robert Abrams, says the so-called doctor practiced a consumer fraud.
He was getting $500 for the first visit and $80 for each visit afterward. Generally, the visits would run around $1,300.
But patients and associates of Dr. Sebi say he does wonders. He says he can cure AIDS. Do you believe him?
I know he can. He's cured husbands, friends.
This man has not objectively shown that what he does is more effective than doing nothing. I would say he either deserves a Nobel Prize or a term in jail, and I vote for the latter.
Nobody's willing to come and properly investigate whether I'm able to do it or not. But it's the natural procedure. The police have to do their way the police way. Yes, I could cure AIDS.
The Attorney General was unable to find anyone whom Bowman had cured and calls him a danger for those who might forego accepted treatment for his unproven herbal remedies. Bowman says he's innocent of the charges, which carry a maximum prison term of 4 years. In Brooklyn, I'm Alec Roberts reporting.
Are you Almond milk was, we can take leftover parts of almonds and the ones that are broken and unsightly, and we can use those to make milk. And it's just a few almonds and some canola oil and some high fructose corn syrup, some flavorings, and we blend it up and we sell it for like $8 as a health food product. So it's not a health food product. So almond milk is high in phytic acid that sucks minerals out of your bones, so you have to take more minerals. And it's also high in oxalates, which are the things that are causing kidney stones, things that are causing gout and joint pain. When you wake up, even if you have really bad skin and you're eating a ton of these high oxalate foods, like almond milk and kale smoothies and all, this can be why. Because it's making tiny, razor-sharp calcium oxalate crystals in your skin that are coming out. Definitely not what I expected from almond milk.
Are you coming to the tree?
When I worked for the drug industry, science was completely abandoned. These drug companies that I was interviewing with had no problem telling me, look, we design drugs based on treating symptoms. We don't cure. That's a business model, okay, that allows you to give a drug to a person for life. The next level of drug advertising is inventing disease. When you run out of symptoms, you don't have any more clientele.
So you run out of the essential nutrients your body needs, then something breaks. So you go to the only medicine that your insurance pays for, which is allopathic MD-directed medicine. The doctors don't know anything about medical nutrition. They don't believe that the body can cure itself, so they give you a drug that manages the problem. The drug, in its working in the human body, also burns through nutrients. So after 6 months or a year, the drug stops working, or they need to increase its potency, or they need to give you a second or a third drug. And then you get worse, and then you need another drug, and then it gets worse, and then you need surgery, and then you get a secondary infection from the surgery, and then you need another drug for that.
I would like to dispel the myth that the pharmaceutical industry is in the business of health and healing. Because in fact, what the pharmaceutical industry is in the business of doing is disease maintenance and symptoms management. The pharmaceutical industry doesn't want to cure people, specifically when we're talking about psychiatric drugs in particular, that these are drugs that encourage people to remain customers of the pharmaceutical industry. Antidepressants are no more effective than placebo, no more effective than sugar pills. A recent study that was released showed that exercise was in fact more effective than either placebo or the antidepressant drug that they were compared to. You're never going to hear any ads on television that are sponsored by anybody saying that exercise is twice as effective as antidepressants in curing depression. You know, you're never going to get that kind of good information as long as pharma is funding the major TV stations, the advertising that supports those television stations.
The word pharmakeia is translated as sorceries.
Pharmakeia is where we get our English word pharmacy. Pharmacy is a well-organized and professionalized system that administers poisonous drugs.
Sorceries. Now, from a biblical perspective, what is sorcery? Sorcery is where you are using any form of manipulation, magic.
The Greek word pharmakeia is used in Galatians 5:19. The Greek dictionary defines it as witchcraft, magic, the use of spells and potions of magic, often involving drugs, a magic spell. It is a fact that witchcraft and magic in the Greek world often involve the use of drugs either by the witch or the one on whom the magic is worked.
There are two systems of healing today. One's based on fear and one's based on faith. The one based on fear is based on a theory that we follow, so we cannot heal. So a billion-dollar industry was created to make drugs, and that industry is based on deception, because drugs do not heal. The other system is based on faith. Faith on the fact that we were created in the image of God to heal. And if we need a little bit of help, there's herbs that work with the needs of the body. And this is truth.
No bugs have touched it yet, y'all. Look. Klondike, Twix, and whatever that strawberry shortcake is. Look at this right here. This has been sitting out for 3 days, y'all. Really and truly. Look at that. Is that even melted, man? It doesn't even look melted to me. Like, look at it. Like, ugh. The fact people are still feeding this right here to their kids, man, is mind-blowing. Look at the stuff. It hadn't hardened yet, y'all, but look at this right here. Look, just to look at all that junk right there, man. And people still think this is healthy? Are you kidding me right now? Anyways, I'm gonna put this joker right back where it was, and no bugs will touch it, guaranteed.
Okay, everyone, a lot to unpack today, but let's just get right into it. First off, so we see that they're throwing up the gang signs already, and some people are just thinking it's just a triangle with their eye showing through the middle. Actually, that's called the Eye of Horus. It's a demonic sign, 1. And 2, we see that in the middle, they set up what I'm going to call an altar for their energy harvesting rituals due to the large amounts of people being drawn to the World Cup. Also, by the way, did you know that soccer was established in a Masonic temple? Lots of symbolism going on there. The black and white ball, duality, there's a lot going on. Next, Disclosure Day finally came out. Guys, the perfect time to fake an alien invasion or mass UFO sightings, Project Bluebeam, is going to be during the World Cup. Actually, in the 1984, I believe, Olympics in California, they portrayed a UFO sighting and alien invasion. Interesting. People still don't believe that underground tunnels exist and underground cities and things like this. Let's just start off small. You know, people building tunnels like this one, in which I'm sure they are trafficking many of our youth. And it's also strange that they just discovered over 70 girls in underground tunnels. But underground tunnels don't exist. None of that infrastructure exists. Well, it does. Just so you are aware, because everything that is happening around us is all part of their agenda to mass surveil all of society worldwide, not just in the United States or Canada or whatever. This is worldwide. Block cameras, they're not going to be used for safety. They're not going to be used to hunt down criminals and stop crime. Nope. It's mass surveilling. Block is using AI technology, demonic technology, by the way, to surveil us all. They get pictures of our license plates, and that stores all of our data, which is not safe in any way. Like this data could be bought and sold and whatever. They're gathering information based on the looks of your car, based on bumper stickers, based on any items like ladders or things attached to the car or luggage, equipment, whatever. They're using that to gather the information on you and your vehicle and ultimately for all of your information to be stored. No, they're not to help society in any way, shape, or form. This is 1984, happening in real life. Obviously. Oh, I knew I was missing something. So when you're watching the UFC fights, I just want you to remember that, yes, they are Israeli owned, and specifically Ari Emanuel, who is the son of Benjamin Emanuel, who is just an actual juice box terrorist. IMG Modeling, yeah, they used that whole agency to traffic young girls. He was part of that. And anybody taking part in those fights knows that as well. So yeah, they're just juice box lovers too, and they're just getting dogged by the juice. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy the heat wave that they produced through weather modification. God bless you all.
Walmart, what the hell is this? And why did y'all think this was okay to give to me?
I can't believe I got one. I got a rubbery watermelon. The texture is so weird, like... Oh. Disgusting.
Do y'all see this apple? I took 2 bites of this apple last night.
Why am I wringing it out like a jar? Like, this ain't food. That's not food. Look at this shit.
These are yams, by the way. Now squeeze them off. They like sponges.
I took the first bite and I couldn't even get the fucking chicken apart.
Oh my god.
Am I tripping or this don't look like turkey? Like the more that I've been on TikTok and that human meat, I swear. Oh my god.
That this is like a normal strawberry, but my rabbit won't even eat it. I'm gonna go ahead and try to break this apart.
What the fuck?
Cooked the potato last night.
Them ain't real. I'm telling you right now. And potato don't do that. Dude, look at this. Why? Why is it doing that? That's not what ice cream does.
Bro, this shit jiggles and like... Bro, this shit don't melt, but instead it just turned black.
If you're on those 3 root causes...
resistant to worms and parasites, and look at the 1800s. We go through the 1800s, what did the doctors do then? They dewormed you.
As the further I got back in history through the 1800s, I started finding books that were published by doctors through the 1800s, books that they read and books that they learned from. And lo and behold, out of every single book were deworming programs, parasite programs, all through America, all through Canada, all through the world, parasite programs, and pictures of parasites that they had found in flesh. For doctors in those days did autopsies. and they found parasites.
And the best man I like in America is Dr. Chase out of Chicago. He wrote 3 books. You can get them in the library in the old book section, Dr. Chase. In the center of his book, he's got a whole bunch of remedies for deworming. And you know what? He kept records. I love it. And here's what he stated. For some strange reason, after 40 years of practice, I have asked everybody how often they deworm, and the people that deworm every year never come in for anything. They come in for checkups. They're healthy. And the people that never deworm except for 2 or 3 years down the road need some doctoring. And the people that never deworm, well, we're starting a new clinic for them because they have this strange new disease called cancer. And Dr. Chase got an 80% success rate right in Chicago in the 1800s of getting rid of cancer by deworming.
So we started to search for parasite programs just to see what was going on, to see if maybe something was happening that we really didn't understand. So I did myself first. And lo and behold, I got 8 and 10 inch critters out of me. They were white. First of all, they were in a toilet water and they were all bunched up. I thought it was mucus. Until, just for a curiosity, I threw some hot water in the toilet to warm it up and then went, and gosh, they strung out and they were swimming all over. And I thought, oh my heavens, look at that. They're usually white, and there's some of them that look like tarantula spiders, some of them look like grasshoppers, some of them look like little tiny miniature sailboats, some of them look like little spacecraft. Yeah, this is really strange stuff. And every single person I have dewormed, I have never yet dewormed anyone where they didn't tell me, hey, I feel 25% better.
There's actual pictures of him in a Masonic lodge. You know, so him like doing rituals and all this stuff. This is documented. You can just look this up. So there's a club called Club 33 in Disneyland. Why do you have that?
The highest Mason is a 33rd Mason.
33rd degree.
Yeah, 33rd degree.
So he just chooses that number randomly, and that's a secret club in the French Quarters in Disneyland. Kind of weird. If you look at it, the Freemasons are, you know, very knowledgeable on geometry, sacred geometry. So if you look at Disneyland, this is how it's built. This is how they built it in a year. It's built on sacred geometry. What's the symbol of a Freemason? It's a compass.
Yeah.
Sacred geometry.
Yeah.
There you go. So he's definitely, and I think he's alive too.
Wait a minute. Walt Disney is alive?
That's what I think.
How is Walt Disney still alive?
So there's a theory that he is in cryogenic stasis, which means he's frozen.
I did hear something like that.
You heard about it, right?
Okay.
So if you're looking up Walt Disney Frozen, what do you get today?
The movie.
The movie. Now, why would they do that? To throw you off the beaten path of Walt Disney actually being frozen, because they're saying his head or his body is in cryogenic stasis, and then when he comes back, you know, they can revive him. Because he died, he was a chain smoker, right? So he died from smoking. He couldn't stop. So he was like, okay, put my body in cryogenic stasis, and then in the future,
bring me back.
Bring me back.
Fairies might be real. Scientists have no idea why this mushroom makes people see tiny humans. Maybe it makes them see tiny humans because there's tiny humans there. Because how come everybody is seeing the same thing? So deep in the forests of East Asia, a wild mushroom known as the Landmaua asiatica is causing a scientific sensation. While valued locally as a savory culinary delicacy, this recently identified species induces strikingly consistent Lilliputian hallucinations when undercooked. Yes, you literally see tiny people, and everyone who consumes it does. Now, the scientist is trying to figure out why everybody is having the same hallucination. And I'm trying to figure out why it hasn't occurred to the freaking scientists that maybe it's not a hallucination. Maybe these mushrooms open up another cone in your eye that allows you to see these little people. If you've been following me and you seen my previous video about how different animals see different things, and we found out that every living being has a certain amount of cones in their eyes, and depending on those cones, you can see more or less colors than other beings. Some animals can even see like infrared. So why is it so far-fetched that maybe a mushroom that you take unlocks something in your eyes that allows you to see these little beings? They probably be dancing around us all day and you just can't see them unless you take this mushroom. And it makes me wonder what other kind of shit is dancing around us and flying around us and skipping to the loo around us, and we can't see it because we don't know which mushroom to eat in order to see it. That's some shit that make you think. Scientists, y'all need to be thinking. See, the problem with y'all is y'all too scientific and you're not giving enough supernatural thoughts or metaphysical thought. Like, all of this stuff goes hand in hand. Everything is not just science. Some things are not explainable by science, and I think this is one of them. And y'all trying to explain it with science when you need to be explaining it with something else. Do y'all think these people are hallucinating? Or is this mushroom giving you a third eye into another dimension that allows you to see these tiny little fairies?
When they first introduced sunglasses, it started triggering a massive increase of cancer. So it has everything to do with cancer. You are filtering out certain rays of the sun which are supposed to enter, you're blocking them out. And the pineal gland, which receives the light in a different color formation, that means the entire spectrum of light. It is necessary for the body to have that light, the basic metabolic processes. Also, you have to allow UV light to come in. When you do that, you are producing a hormone in the brain that is responsible for the melanin production in your skin. So that's where your skin protection occurs. If you are not producing that, your skin becomes susceptible to even sun.
I told y'all, I fucking told y'all.
Dr. Fauci, you admitted in your own diary that COVID was nothing more than a flu. Do you regret shutting the world down? Are you ever going to admit that you killed millions of people through your poison shots? When are you going to take responsibility for your mishandling of COVID? When are you going to take responsibility for your mishandling of COVID, Dr.
All of this shit was bullshit. July 29, 2026, the unvaccinated were right about everything. I told you all the motherfuckers were corrupt. I told y'all that they just wanted to fucking get us sick and literally exterminate us. And now the news is coming out saying that that's literally what it was. This motherfucker Fauci, he invoked his Fifth Amendment 111 times. If he really gave a fuck about the people, you think somebody who cares about the people is going to invoke the Fifth Amendment right when they're talking about vaccines? Fuck no. So shout out to everybody who didn't get it because you survived the greatest psychological fear campaign in human history. People literally made the dumbest decision by getting it. But like I said, shout out to everybody who didn't get it. And I just want to say fuck you to Fauci and fuck Bill Gates. They need to be publicly tried. The whole world needs to see them front face of the planet get exterminated. Seriously, like they literally destroyed humanity. Like they gave y'all shit that they admitted was fake. Now the real question is why? Why did they want to do that? Why did they want to vaccinate the planet? Ask yourself that question. And then that's going to lead you into realizing that we're not dealing with humans. And I'll leave it there.
Why they're removing copper pennies. Because every time you hold a copper penny, the healing frequencies and charge of the copper is transferred to your electric body, which is why in the 1800s everybody could be seen wearing copper jewelry, because they knew that the unique frequencies of the copper was able to positively interfere with their biofield. But also, if you take a copper penny or a piece of copper and you place it in water, the copper will not only purify the water to a level that no other material can match, but the copper will also create electrically conductive water. And so if you were to then drink the water that the copper is rested in, it would instantaneously heal that individual. And this is another reason why if you look back into the 1800s, you will see every water fountain was made from copper. They would have thousands of these fountains all over the world, which people could then drink from freely, because they knew that the copper was not only purifying the water and keeping the water clean, but the conductivity of the copper was actually actually interfering with the water, creating some of the most powerful water one can drink. So if you've ever wondered why they tell you not to drink from copper, it's because they found something out about copper they don't want you to know about.
Are you gonna tell them? Okay, I will. The reason people are initially drawn to you only to switch up once they get close is because your presence forces them to confront themselves. You inspire them so deeply that instead of simply appreciating what they see, they begin comparing themselves to it. What starts as admiration slowly turns into insecurity. They convince themselves there has to be a catch, so they get close. Not always to build with you, but only to study you, to figure you out, to run game on you, to expose you, or to prove to themselves that you aren't really who you portray yourself to be. They're convinced that if they look long enough, they'll find the gimmick, the flaw, the contradiction, the mask. But the closer they get, the more uncomfortable the truth becomes, because they don't discover that you're pretending. They discover that you're exactly who you said you were. And somehow, you're even more authentic up close. The realization is humbling, not because you fooled them, but because you didn't. The entire time, they were searching for your performance. They were unknowingly protecting their own. They were looking for a mask to rip off your face, only to realize there wasn't one. The only mask in the room was the one they had been wearing all along. And that's why some people don't leave because they found out who you are. They leave because getting close to you forced them to confront who they are. Peace.